it seriously does hurt. And I'm not even trying to be mean. Like, just honestly, like, as someone who plays ESEA a lot, like, I've been playing ESEA for, like, years and years. Like, I tell everybody, get ESEA. It'll help you improve. And I stand by that. ESEA has 128 tick. You don't run into cheaters. And it is the competitive platform in North America. And in Europe, it's getting bigger and bigger. Like, more and more people are starting to play it in Europe. So, like, and even in, like, Asia, they expanded to India. They expanded to Asia. Like, they are expanding all over the world. And they have a really good platform, a really good anti-cheat. And it's a good system. So I stand by what I say. But that being said, there are people who just aren't ready for ESEA. If you're a silver or a Nova, you're not ready for ESEA. Like, even people who have the AKs, like single AK, double AK, even those guys, they struggle in ESEA. Like, they don't do well because it is a much harder and much more competitive platform. So you do have to, like, know the basics before you go there. Otherwise, you're going to get negative karma and bashed on. And it's going to be one of the most unpleasant experiences of your life. So, I don't know. I still stand by what I say. Everyone should look into it. But you do have to possess, like, a certain amount of skill before you start playing it. What was I going to say? Oh, like, the most common thing. I saw it earlier today on the forums. This guy he's from Sweden. This little 14-year-old kid from Sweden signed up for ESEA because he saw Summit playing it. And he wants to know, he was like, I don't care if my teammates hate me. I just want to know if I'll get better. Because if I do matchmaking, I'm just going to play silvers and I'm not going to improve because I'm not playing against better players. But it's like, that whole theory is not even a thing. Like, I'll explain it to you. Even if you guys probably don't want to hear me rant, I'm just going to go on it because it's my stream and I feel like I have the right to rant a little bit. So the whole theory of I'm stuck in a trench doesn't actually exist. In Counter-Strike, at least. In Dota, in League of Legends, it can maybe be justified because in those games, there's very specific roles. Like, you play the jungle, or I'll use Dota as an example because I don't really play that much League of Legends. And so I'm not as familiar with it. In Dota, you could play the support role. Now, a support hero, like, no matter how hard you try, like, it's a very rare occasion where a support hero could carry. Like, your job is completely different. So, towards the end of the game, you can't actually impact the game in the same way that you want to. But in CS, every single round, you have the same opportunity as all of your teammates, right? So in CS, if you think that you're stuck in a trench, that's not actually a thing because every single round, like, if you think you're getting out opt, then you buy an op and you opt them back. If you think that you need some entry frags, you buy an AK and you run in first and you throw a flashbang and you get an entry frag for your team. Like, you can have the same impact as every single one of your teammates. That's where Counter-Strike is different, and that's why the trench in Counter-Strike is not an actual thing. It's like, say I'm like a star, like I don't know the fucking name of the rank, like the first star, right? Like a 1 star in matchmaking, okay? And I come up to Amir and I say, hey Amir, like, should I sign up for ESEA? I feel like I can't rank up because all my teammates are fucking bad and I'm running into smurfs and I'm running into cheaters. No. First of all, the amount of cheaters at that rank is probably less than 2 out of 10. Probably 1 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. Like, it's really hard to cheat and be a 1 star. Because it's just so, like, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but, like, the skill level at that rank is extremely low in comparison to the higher ranks. Like, I seriously doubt I would ever lose a 1-star game, like a Nova 1 or whatever you guys are saying. Like, I could probably carry 4 Nova 1s to victory by myself because I have enough individual skill to do it, right? So, like, people say that there's cheaters. First of all, I highly doubt there's cheaters. Secondly, smurfs. It's very hard for a smurf to be that bad. But even so, even if there are smurfs, that's something that you can't avoid because there will be smurfs at every single rank. So that's not an applicable excuse. Not only do I think there's not a lot of smurfs at your rank, you're going to run into smurfs at every rank. So that doesn't count. So that leaves your teammates. You say, oh, I can't rank up because my teammates are bad. Well, the fact of the matter is you're playing in that skill bracket, and until you can carry yourself out of it, you don't actually deserve to be at a higher rank. Like that's just how it is. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like if I'm mad that I'm Nova 2, then get good enough and carry yourself out of it. Don't say, oh, I need some good teammates. Hey, Counter-Strike's a good team game. It is a team game, but you can carry yourself out of the lower ranks. The only time it starts to matter, in my opinion, as a competitive player, the only time it starts to really matter is the top 3 ranks: Global Elite, Legendary Eagle Master, and Supreme Master First Class. And that's because at those ranks, and even Legendary Eagle, I guess like the first Eagle rank as well, you do get a lot of cheaters. That I think if what they said about it was true, I think that's like the top 5% or top 2% or something of the Counter-Strike population is those 3 ranks. So there's a lot of cheaters there, and there's a lot of boosters. And when we say cheaters, we mean like the blatant ones. Like we mean like 9 hours on his account, aimbotting and spamming music and spinning all over the place. So there's nothing you can do about that. So like that's like, if anything, that's the trench. Like you have pro players like Pasha, like fucking Neo, Taz, like all these people, like me, like I used to be a pro player. Like none of us have touched Global Elite ever, guys, and that's because of cheaters. So if anything, that's the trench. So I guess what I'm trying to say with my rant is, if you guys think you're stuck in a trench, like the cold hard truth to it is that you're probably not stuck in a trench unless you're in the top 3 ranks and you're in a trench to try and get global. Like all the other ranks, you should be good enough to carry yourself out. You shouldn't have like other complaints about it. Like you run into the occasional cheater, okay, but unless you're getting cheated in over 50% of your games, there's no reason you shouldn't be the reason like that you're at that low of a rank, you know? Carry yourself out of your rank. That's what I'm trying to say. Wait, they've never gotten global. No. Pasha has never touched global, and he match makes all the time. Like, that's just what I have to say about it. And I guess I'm complaining all this whole time. Dude, why isn't anybody joining? The queue popped, and there's literally nobody joining this fucking game. There's 4 people. 10 people readied up, and 4 people joined. Like, what is this? No, but I guess what the whole thing that I'm coming back to is people like Ranked Senpai and fucking Binny and like all these players that like want to join ESEA because they think it's going to make them improve a lot. Like, no, your ESEA is not going to do something that matchmaking can't do for you at the lower ranks. Like, matchmaking is still good, and matchmaking is more forgiving. Like, it has longer round time, it has longer bomb timer, so you can like win the rounds easier on both sides. So, I don't know. It's just, yeah, that's my rant about people like that. So, I apologize if I offended anybody. We'll talk about something happier now. Feel free to ask